This isn't the California Penal League.
Just another manic Monday.
Alright, welcome back to another recap vid. I know you guys were just fucking starving for another video. These are the standings heading into week 15, which was a long week, a week that consisted of 10 days worth of games. So let's head into the matchups, and we're going to see some fucked up numbers because it was a long week. So let's just dive into the week 15 matchups right now. And here we have the week 15 matchups. The first matchup features Dave versus Phil. Dave swept the hitting categories. He was tied for the league lead in home runs, so he took home the Serrano Slugger Award. And he didn't have the quantity as far as pitching goes, but you can see he had the quality with the low ERA and whip. And he took it 11-3, and I picked Dave to win. So I am 1 for 1.
Well, he shoots! He scores!
Moving to the next matchup, we have Paul versus Mike. This was kind of a close matchup, 9-4-1. Mike took the majority of the hitting categories. Let's see that Paul could have flipped homers. Extra base hits were close enough. RBIs were close. And then in the pitching, Mike just had much better quality of pitching. Paul could have flipped quality starts, saves, could have pulled ahead and holds. So much closer score, 9-4-1. But Mike pulled it off. So nice win there. And I picked Mike to win. So holy shit, I'm 2 for 2.
All right.
To the next matchup we go. Eric versus Andy. Eric was tied for the league in home runs with Dave, so he took home the Serrano Slugger Award as well. He pretty much powered his way to the top. You can see the home runs, the extra base hits, RBI, but what's most ridiculous about this matchup was the stolen base battle. Andy led the league in stolen bases, so he took home the Willie Mays Hayes Award, but 16-15, that's just stupid. That is just dumb. And then Eric dominated in the counting categories with the pitching. And 11-9 saves was kind of insane too. But Eric took it 9-5. Some categories Andy could have flipped. Ks, maybe quality starts. That's really about it. Eric pretty much took this quite, I wouldn't say easily, but fairly convincingly, 9-5. And I picked Eric to win, so I'm 3 for 3.
Whoopity-doo!
What the fuck is going on here? Let's go to the next matchup. We have Fred versus Mikey. Fred swept the hitting categories, and after that, he didn't have to do much. He took Ks with a ridiculous 92. And wound up winning 11-3. Now, were there any categories that Mikey could have flipped? Not really. Maybe saves, maybe holds, maybe whip, but even so, Fred won this rather convincingly. But I picked Mikey to win, so I'm wrong, and that's more like it.
Are you like enough?
So I'm 3 out of 4. Let's go to the next matchup. We have Debug versus Gabe. Gabe took all the hitting categories except stolen bases. In fact, Gabe should have asked Debug to dinner before he fucked him in the ass. I mean, look at this hitting.
You got knocked the fuck out!
The average, the OPS, the 17 homers, 66 ribbies, 63 runs. I mean, he just stuck it to him. And then the pitching, same deal. 83 Ks, 10 wins, which led the league, so he took home the winning trophy. Quality ERA to go with those counting stats. I mean, the 12-1-1, that actually pretty much clearly represents how much Gabe stuck a pineapple up Debug's ass. And I picked Gabe to win, so I'm 4 out of 5. What the fuck is going on here? Jesus. But yeah, this matchup was just pure domination. Some tough luck, D-Buck running into the buzzsaw that is Gabe. The final matchup, Pitts, Matt Gabb versus myself. This was actually close for much of the week, but over the weekend I just kind of turned it on and shoved it up his ass pretty good. I swept the hitting categories. My 108 strikeouts led the league, so I took home the Wild Thing award. But yeah, basically my lineup did the heavy lifting. 18 home runs, was good for second in the league. And let's see if Matt Gabb could even flip much. Extra base hits maybe. And quality start, saves, maybe holds, but this is pretty much by the end of the matchup, pure domination. So, and of course I picked myself to win, so I was 5 out of 6 in the predictions. Even the sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while, I guess. All right, well, let's see where we stand now heading into week 16. All right, here we have the standings as they sit today, week 16. There was a lot of movement, a lot of movement. I stay at the top and first. Eric moved from 5th to 2nd. Huge move. Now, mind you, and I should have said this at the very onset of these videos, was sometimes the big discrepancies with the standings and the average category rank and some big jumps that are made is, of course, the divisional aspect of the standings. Eric is in the West Division and leads it now, whereas you have Gabe and Mikey actually have better records than Eric, but Eric leads the West Division, so he's now 2nd overall in the standings. But whatever, I mean, good job, Eric. You know, persistence pays off. You're all the way up to 2nd. I mean, the settings are what they are. But yeah, I should have mentioned that a while back. A lot of times, some of the discrepancies had to do with how the divisional standings just kind of fuck everything up. But whatever, it is what it is. Gabe moved up to number 3. Here we have Mikey fell to, excuse me, fell down 1 spot to number 4. Andy swapped places with Eric and fell 3 spots to number 5. Fred stayed at number 6, just chilling in just above the playoff line. And Dave moved up a spot. D-Buck continues to run into some tough matchups. He fell down 1 spot to 8th. Paul fell down to 9th, and then Phil, Mike, and Matt Gabb, their positions stayed the same. Over in the ACR, Eric moved up 1, so his team's performing better on average in the categories lately. Gabe's up to number 2 now, so he's doing a kick-ass job. Mikey actually moved up in the average category rank, even though he moved down in the regular season standings. Same with Andy. So perhaps, you know, it's a little bit of probably bad luck with the matchup they might have had, and of course the huge jump Eric made because he now leads the West Division. So that would explain some of that. Fred's up 2, so he's almost equal to where his regular season standings are. Dave fell 2 spots in the ACR to number 4. D-Buck actually moved up to 3, despite the fact that he moved down in the regular season standings. You know, tough matchups. What can you do? Paul remained the same. Phil fell 2 spots in the ACR, and Mike and Matt Gabb remain the same. So quite a bit of movement. Eric just not fucking around. He's just ascending towards the top. We had a bunch of ties in the ACR actually. 1, 2, 3, I believe 3 people tied for 7th in the ACR. And I just round to the nearest 10th because I'm not breaking it down beyond that. Fuck that shit. But quite a bit of movement. Week 16, so we have, including this week, we have 6 matchups remaining. So plenty of time for teams that are just under the playoff line to still make moves. So, hey, long way to go. Long way to go. But time is running out a little bit, but still 6 matchups is a good enough chunk to do some things. All right, well, let's take a look at the Week 16 matchups and see if I can get back to sucking dick at predicting. Right, in the first matchup, I go up against Fred. I think we all know who I'm picking here. The Vegematics, of course. Next matchup, we have Matt Gabb versus D-Buck. I think D-Buck gets off the schneid and takes this one. D-Buck for the win. Go to the next matchup, we have Gabe versus Mikey. I am going, this is actually a good battle here. 9-6 versus 9-4-2. This is a coin flip. Probably it's close, but I'm going to go with Gabe and trust in his ACR. Because, that means so much. Next matchup, we have Paul versus Eric. Eric's just no stopping this motherfucker now. Can't keep a good Cuban down, especially if the meat's old. Anyways, I'm going with Eric to take this matchup. Let's go to the next matchup. Andy versus Phil. Andy got leapfrogged. He's been in second virtually the whole year, but he just got overtaken by Eric. He's probably fucking not cool with that. So I'm going to go ahead and say he gets a win and gets some redemption, if you will. So I'm going with Andy in this matchup. The last matchup featured Dave versus Mike. Dave actually won. He didn't have any tough luck this go around. But I'm actually going to go with Mike this time and not pick Dave. Mike with the upset. All right, well, that concludes the fucking predictions. Be back here next Monday doing the same stupid shit. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.